Welcome back, you guys, to Choking Hazard. My name is Zach, and today we're going to be talking about Hyperscape, the new video game that just came out for the Xbox, the PC, and PS4. And it's a pretty cool BR video game. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably just trying to stop me right here. You're thinking, a BR video game. We've had those for like half a decade now. I'm kind of sick of those. Why are they making more BR video games? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be another run-of-the-mill BR video game where you run real slow, you collect items, and then you go off and you fight people until you're at the very last circle, and then whoever is the last person standing wins. No, it is not like that. It's actually very different, and I was surprised by how different this video game is compared to other BR video games. We can talk about the story of this video game, but I don't really care about the story because BR video games are not about the story. They're about the gameplay, the multiplayer aspect of it. So if you want to know about the story, just watch the movie Ready Player One, because that's basically the entire story summed up within 2 hours. So don't worry about it. That's basically it. I'm just going to go straight into the gameplay right now. So with the gameplay, one of the things that I really love about this game is that everything is so fast. It is one of the fastest BR video games I have played ever, actually. I don't think there's any other BR game that's quicker. Now, you're probably thinking like, well, Apex is pretty quick. The movement speed's very good in that. The way you maneuver through the game, the way you can jump off walls, climb up stuff, and things like that. This game makes that game look slow. It's so fast. What it reminds me of, it almost reminds me of Doom Eternal, where you were just jumping around, dashing back and forth, jumping up in the air, hitting little jump pads, flinging around. It's crazy how fast you move in this game. And it's cool because it means that you have to have pretty good mechanical aim to actually be able to do any damage in this game, because people are just flying around so goddamn quick. It's actually crazy. And I think that's actually a breath of fresh air when it comes to BR games, because most of the time, BR games are very much like PUBG, sort of, or the new COD, Warzone, where everyone's very slow, and it makes it almost as if the person attacking has a big disadvantage over the person that's defending. Because if you go around a corner and you get shotgunned down, you're dead. And it's pretty easy. As soon as someone comes around the corner, you're dead. In this game, you're so fast that it's very hard to just react instantly when someone comes through a door. Because you're like Speedy Gonzalez, you know? It's just, you have to be... Oh, the other thing is, too, is not just the fact that you're fast, that it's hard to hit people, but your health in this game is a lot more. You have a lot more health in this game, and the time to kill is a lot slower. And you could probably think that's, I guess you'd say, a little noob-friendly, which I guess you could say it is. But what's cool about this game is that it makes it so that you just don't get one-tapped instantly. Like, as you go around a corner, you're like, oh, there's people, and you just die instantly. Now, the person could be 3 streets down, and if you see them and they're shooting at you and you get hurt a little bit, you either have to run or engage, because they will be on you like white on rice in 2 freaking seconds because they're so fast. And the mobility in this game comes a lot through the hacks, which are special abilities, almost like cooldowns in Overwatch. The hacks are really neat, because there's a bunch of ones. There's ones like the mines, where if you throw them down, people, if they walk within a certain radius of the mines, they get blown up by it. I haven't had a lot of use with the mines. They haven't been useful for me. I've thrown them down. I haven't gotten anybody to actually run into them yet. And I actually haven't been killed by the mines either, so I feel like they're kind of a weaker hack in the game. But I guess we can go into the other spectrum of hacks. For example, there's this thing, I call it the slam, where you jump up in the air like you're the Hulk from the early 2000s Hulk movie. I forget what it's called. I think it was The Incredible Hulk, where he just leaps up like miles up in the air and then slams down wherever he wants to. Well, you do that in this game, and you can engage on somebody like a quarter way across the map, it feels like. Because, you know, if you see somebody shooting, you can just jump on them, you'll land right in front of them, do some damage to them, and then you're ready to fire and mow people down. So this is a very, very aggressive BR game, and there's actually almost no use in hiding or camping in this game. It is full balls to the walls, just a freaking war zone of battle and movement and speed. It's really fun. I'll go ahead and go through some of the other hacks, because I feel like the hacks are a big importance to this game. Like, it's more important than I think even the gunplay, actually. They have the slam that I just mentioned. There's teleport, which if you ever played Overwatch, it's almost like blinking as Tracer in Overwatch, where you click the button and then you're instantly like maybe 20 feet in front of you, like in a straight line. And you can look up in the air too and then go vertically. In this game too, I want to just mention before I keep going through the hacks, the vertical mobility in this game is great. The map is designed for verticality. Verticality. That's what I meant. Verticality. God, jeez, I can't talk today. Yeah, the verticality in this game is actually amazing because everything around the map, it has like skyscrapers, 3-story buildings, everything like that, and you can jump up to any of these buildings using your hack abilities. It's like your teleport can get you up there, your jump can get you up there. There's this other hack which turns you into a ball. I know there was a Fortnite, I think it was a Fortnite season where you could kind of like have like a little ball or whatever. I don't play Fortnite, so it's, you know, don't ask me any questions about it. But I remember, at least through gameplays, you can use a ball, then you like grapple onto stuff and swing around. Well, it's kind of like that, except you're this little ball and you can bounce, like just a little bouncy ball. And the more you bounce, the higher you go up in the air, and you can get up and actually move into the zone that you need to go. And it's probably the more mobile ability in the game. I don't know if I like it that much because it's a little, you kind of give off your positioning. It's almost like having a vehicle in a game, you know? It's like, it makes a bunch of noise, everybody can see you, you're flying up in the air, you're this big f***ing ball that's floating in the sky. It's just, I don't know, it's not up my alley, but I've seen a lot of people use it, and it's very good for getting out of sticky situations. Let me go through some of the other hacks. I know you're probably thinking, like, why is he talking so much about these hacks? Well, the hacks are very important in this game. They are what make your play style, if that makes any sense. One of my friends, Red, which he plays, we were kicking ass in this game last night. He loves using the heals, which basically, I know you're probably thinking like, well, heals, I guess, who wouldn't want heals? Well, in this game, you actually don't need to find healing items like in other BR games where it's like, if you don't have it, then your health doesn't regenerate. You don't have shields in this game either. I know like in COD and in Apex, you can find these like level 4, level 3 shields, and you have extra health and stuff like that. This game's not like that. What you do is, if you get shot, you just go around a corner, and within like, was it 6 or 7 seconds, your health starts regenerating back up. So it's almost like Halo, like Halo 2, where instead of having the health bar at the bottom, it would just, your shields would regenerate after like a specific period of time. A lot of video games do this. I don't know why I'm trying to explain this so in-depthly, but what the heal is cool for is that if you are stuck in just a shit situation, you can shoot the heal down, and it makes this like little kind of like bubble of heals around you. You can heal your team, by the way, with this. But as you're getting shot, the heal consistently heals you the whole time. You don't have to wait a specific amount of time. So while someone's shooting at you, if you're just juking back and forth and you're just spamming 80 spamming or whatever, you can actually keep yourself alive just through the consistent heals that you're getting. And you can do that with your whole team as well. One of the games that my friend and I were playing, for example, here's a good combo that you can use that makes the game very deeper than you would think, is that I had this ability called Armor. And what Armor does is that you basically just click it and makes you invulnerable for about 6 seconds, right? So as you're running, people could just be unloading just hellfire on you, and you won't take any damage. But during that time, you won't be able to heal. So what's cool is that if I am getting hurt and I use this invulnerability and I need health like now because I have like 10 health or whatever, if my friend has his healing pack, he can shoot it down right next to me, and while I'm invulnerable, I can be getting healed, and by the time that armor is gone, I'll have full health. So you can really save your team doing stuff like that, and people have to be ultra aggressive in this game to kill anybody. So these people, right after that, they'll be on me like white on rice, jumping in, doing teleports next to me. There's all sorts of cool stuff with that. But that's the heals, which is really interesting. There's invisibility. I think I already mentioned that. You just turn invisible. I think they need to kind of nerf that one just a little bit, just because of the fact that you turn invisible for about the same amount of time that you're invulnerable, so about like 6 or 7 seconds. But the thing is with the invisibility is that it's such a get-out-of-jail-free card because you can't rush the person that you can't see, You can hear them a little bit, but I feel like the audio is not good enough. Like, I can't hear them well enough to actually follow them. And the other thing is too is that the invisibility, I wish it was kind of like Overwatch when Sombra goes invisible, because if you shoot her while she's invisible, she'll come out of invisibility, but in this case, it's not like that. You shoot the person, and even if they're invisible and you shoot them, they don't come out of invisibility, so you're not really sure if you're hitting anybody. You don't get any hit markers either. So I feel like that's kind of dumb. It's almost like just a completely get-out-of-jail-free card. I mean, they can just wing it. They can just go, bam, invisibility, and you're like, I'll never see them again. But then again, they can't be ultra aggressive with that ability either. So it's kind of like you're trading one thing for another. There's an ability called Reveal. It kind of reminds me of Bloodhound and Apex, where you can see through walls and shit when you're, if somebody's in a building, you just kind of reveal everybody within like the vicinity of you, which is pretty cool. There's Shockwave, which reminds me of Pharah's little ability in Overwatch, where you shoot the ground with this and it basically just bops everybody around, and you can use that ability too, if you shoot it right down at your feet, to bounce yourself in the air. So you can use it for mobility, and you can also use it for defense by knocking people around, when they're trying to come after you. So that's pretty cool. There's teleport, and then there's a wall, which wall is pretty cool. Basically you just make a wall, kind of like Fortnite or whatever. But it's cool about those walls that you can do it a lot further away from you. You can just kind of spawn it out of nowhere further away. So if somebody's running away from you, you can spawn a wall right in front of them and cut them off, and there's nothing they can do about it. So I've gotten stuck in that situation before where I'm running away, and then somebody will just whip up a wall right in front of me. I'm just like, fuck, I can't get out of here. So I think it's pretty cool, and to be honest with you, I think it's a low-key one of the better abilities in the game. It's just that you have to use it more skillfully than other abilities. Like other abilities like Slam, Teleport, they get a lot of value inherently, and they're kind of just like get-out-of-jail-free cards, or they're cool because you can also use them to attack people as well. So that's why a lot of people use those abilities, because they're aggressive, and you can use them as defensive, and they're pretty self-explanatory, and they're pretty easy and simple to understand. All right, so now that I got the hacks out of the way, because I know the hacks, I kind of rambled on a lot about the hacks. They're a big portion of the game, and I think they're the only thing that's kind of different compared to other video games, or at least other BR video games. So let's just go ahead and get on into just the guns, the gunplay. The gunplay is really cool. I really like the guns. The only issue I have with the guns is none of them feel very powerful. Some of them are actually very powerful in this game. It's just that they don't feel powerful while you're actually shooting them with your keyboard and mouse or your controller. Your controller doesn't vibrate. Nothing really shakes in your hand. They don't have a lot of kick, and it just doesn't sound very strong or appealing. Like a lot of it, for example, there's a sniper. The sniper does the most damage per shot in the game, like most games. And if you get it to, I'll explain the guns in a little bit, but basically if you get this gun up to level 5, you can one-shot people in the head, which is you can't normally do that. But when you're shooting it, it sounds like a dart gun. It's like, pew! And then that's what happens. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a little dart gun, and you're just like, it could sound a little stronger than that, especially if I level this bastard up to level 5. It should be like a big-ass Barrett 50 cal looking gun. You need more satisfying feel to your weapons. That's all I'm saying. The reloading doesn't sound as crispy as it does in Apex. I love in Apex when you have the R99 and you shove the magazine in after it loads, a crunch, and it makes that crunchy, that visceral noise that you just I love that gun. You know what I mean? This gun doesn't have, these guns don't have that. And if they just worked on some of the sound effects in the game and just the noise in general, I feel like the guns would just feel more satisfying. I'm not going to get into the specifics in all the different guns, because you know the guns. There's going to be the big pistol, there's the regular pistol, there's the shotgun, there's the machine gun, there's the regular assault rifle, the submachine gun, the sniper. They have the semi-automatic sniper. I'm not going to get into all those and which ones I really like. There are a couple guns that either need to be nerfed or they need to make the other guns a little better. For example, the sniper is basically useless in this game, because unless you are just dead on with your shots, you're going to be missing all the time, especially with the movement speed going on. But it doesn't do enough damage for body shots, in my opinion. I think it should kill you in one shot, or at least almost kill you in one shot in the chest when you get shot. So that's just my thoughts on it. It's not very useful. Then, for example, on the flip side, there's something like the Riot pistol, which is basically what's the Apex pistol? It's called the Wingman. The Wingman, for example, does a lot of damage, and the pistol in Hyperscape is stronger than the one in Apex, which is one of the better guns in Apex. So they might have to tone that one down. I haven't seen a lot of people use it because you have to be pretty good at aiming with it. But my God, if you hit people with this fucking gun, they are dead so fast, and there's no time for them to react to it. Almost no time. I mean, you get like half a second to react. You get bang, bang in the head, done. You don't have to think about that person anymore because they're deleted. I want to go ahead and just get out of the guns or whatever, because you know the guns, they're all pretty normal. But I have to tell you kind of different things about the guns that they do in this game. So one of the things that are different when it comes to the guns in this game is that the guns are all hit scan, or at least most of them. The rocket launchers, and there's a couple of grenade launcher type of guns, the explosive weapons, none of them are hit scan. They're all projectile. But the other guns that are all shooting little, like bullets and stuff like that, those are hit scan weapons. And if you don't know what hit scan means, it means that you don't have to lead your target at all. So, you know how you think, like, if somebody's shooting an arrow, you can see the arrow travel through the air and it hits somebody, that would be considered a projectile. In a hit scan is what usually older games would like to do, where they didn't have the technology back then to show like the bullet going through the air and hit the person and have that time delay. In this game, there's no time delay. So if you see somebody across the field like a mile away and you click on them, if your reticle is on them, they're going to get hit. They're going to get hit instantly as soon as you click the trigger. So there's no projectile speed or anything like that. It shoots as fast as light. And to be honest with you, in this game, you need hit scan weapons, just because everybody's so fast and so mobile that to be able to like lead them to shoot them, you'd have to be like aiming like 5 feet in front of them for every gun, because they're moving so fast, So I completely understand that. Another cool thing about the weapons is, I know like in most other VR video games, there are guns that you can pick up that are like legendary weapons, and they're stronger than normal weapons, and they're higher rank, or let's say you add more attachments. There's no attachments in this game to weapons, but there is that if you find the same type of weapon, you can upgrade your weapon with that weapon, if that makes any sense. I kind of fucked that whole sentence up, but I'll just try to say it again. If you have, let's say, a shotgun, and you find another shotgun, you combine those two shotguns, and it makes it a stronger shotgun. You can do that up to level 5. So if you get 5 different shotguns in a row, it becomes the strongest of that shotgun, if that makes any sense. So that's a little different in this game. You basically, if you find the same weapon for whatever guns you're using, you pick them up, and then you upgrade your weapon with those parts of that gun, which I think is very interesting. It's very different. You end up near the end, everybody has level 5 shit, and you are just spamming hell down upon everybody. So I think that's pretty cool. Another interesting thing about Hyperscape is actually the circle. And I know you're thinking like most VR games have a circle, and as it slowly gets smaller and smaller, people end up having to run closer and closer. They can't be outside the circle, they'll die. Well, this game's a little different. It actually doesn't have a circle. What it does is there's specific names on the map, like specific locations, and one location will end up disappearing. And you'll see it, which I think this is actually really interesting, because in most VR games, like if you're just like fucking around and you're trying to fight a team or whatever, I don't feel like there's a good enough warning. A lot of times if the zone is coming in, sometimes you're like way off in the distance and you're fighting these people and you don't have time to be looking up your fucking map, and the zone will just kind of catch you off guard, and then you have to look and you're like, oh shit, I have to run like 3 miles away and I'm fighting people. Oh, I'm f***ed. And then you just have this like moment where you're like, okay, well, I just gotta put the controller down because there's no way I'm gonna get to the zone in time. What's cool about Hyperscape is because you're so mobile, you can get out of the zone in time. But 2 is that the zone slowly deteriorates in front of you. So even when you're fighting, you're not taking any damage as it's deteriorating. It just starts slowly turning black and starts falling apart, and by the time it completely falls apart, that's when you have to get out of there. But you get a visual representation of what's going on. So like as you're fighting people, you see shit start falling apart around you, and you're like, oh, we need to get the fuck out of here. It gives you like a little bit of a warning, so you don't get like caught off guard. And I feel like that's one of the more annoying aspects to VR games, is just getting by the circle. And in this game, it's like, oh, nope, you're getting a little bit of a warning, and you're going to see it. Even when you're fighting people in like the middle of the bullshit, you're going to see the buildings around you. Everything starts turning like all like hazy and black, and you'll see. I'm going to show you some gameplay anyway, so you're definitely watching right now. But yeah, everything starts falling apart, and you're just like, okay, I got to get out of here. But then once you're actually in that shit and you start dying from the being out of the zone, you have most hacks will be able to get you out of there. So as long as you have some sort of mobility hack, which you're probably going to have anyways, because let's face it, who wants to climb up a bunch of stairs to get up on top of a building when you can just click one button? You'll be able to get out of the circle fairly decently. So what's cool about this game is, like, sometimes it's not even the circle that kills you. It's more of like the people that are guarding the outside of the circle, kind of like, as you'd say, like gatekeeping you, that you have to worry about. So I think it's just a more fun and it's less irritating part of a BR game that I've seen so far. And I really enjoy that aspect. I think that's actually the best, because sometimes the circle is super random. Like, certain things will fall apart in different ways. Like, the middle of a chunk of the map will fall apart, and people are fighting around this big hole in the map. So it's completely, it's different, and it gives a better design to like a BR game, in my opinion. I think it's just really interesting, and it's very cool. It gives you a heads up. It's all around better, in my opinion, than the circle. What's another great thing about this game is the respawn system. So I know in PUBG, if you died in PUBG, you are just screwed. And it's the worst feeling in the world when you're playing a BR game and they don't have a respawn system. Because I remember back in PUBG, if we had like 4 people playing, if one of us died early in the game, we just had to sit there and just watch our friends play for 15 minutes without us. And nobody likes that. Let's just face it. So in Apex, they fixed that problem by bringing in the respawn system, which is great, because the respawn system made it so that if any of your teammates died, you can go ahead and find one of the beacons, and then if you had their banner, you could bring them back to life, which is great. In this game, they made it even better. Because everything's so fast in this game, there would just be so many people at a respawn beacon. People are jumping up in the air, slamming down. It would be a cluster trying to have a respawn beacon like that. So what's cool is that every time you kill an enemy, there is a respawn beacon there. So as long as you are killing people, you'll always have a chance to res your teammates back. Now, I know people are not going to let you res their teammates back because they're going to try to shoot you, and it takes like 3 or 4 seconds to respawn your teammate. But every single time you kill somebody, you can clutch something out. You can be 3 versus 1. I've done it before, where my team is dead, I kill the entire team, and guess what? My whole team comes right back, right there. I respawn them instantly, boom, bada bang. Man, it feels so good. You just feel like you're clutching shit, you know? And it's great when you're playing with people that are kind of newbier, you know? There's always that one friend that isn't as good as you know? So if you're that person that's not that great, this is a perfect game for you. But if you are a better player and you don't die a lot, that's still fun, because you get to go ahead and res your teammates back, and people are not going to be kind of shut out of a game because they're dying so much, you know. One of my friends, Pete, one of our new players, and he died like 4 times in the game right off the bat, and we resed him every single time, and he was back in the game. And, you know, even if you're not killing something, if you're a distraction, you're a distraction, so that's great. But, you know, it's just a more fun way to play a BR game, and I just love this respawn system. It's great, it's amazing, it's quick, it's easy, it's clutch. You know, if you're the weaker person, the weaker link in the chain, then you get to still play the game, so that's amazing. Now, the ending circle is very interesting because everybody's so mobile and it's so hard to kill everybody. They have something different other than just the last man standing at the end, because it's pretty, by the end of the game, there's so many people in a tiny little area. I mean, you could have like at least 30 people in a small zone. So it is hectic, and it is a war zone, and there's bullets flying everywhere, and it is just, it is so lucky for you to survive in the environment that you are in at the end of the circle. So what they have, instead of just like the last man standing, because it would just take forever for that to happen, they have something called the crown. And this might make it or break it for some of you guys when it comes to this game, but basically there's a crown that appears in the game, and you have to hold that crown for 45 seconds. If you can hold it for 45 seconds with the crown, you win the game. So a lot of times people just guard the crown, or they'll just run in a circle and just try to juke people the whole game while they have the crown, and it's everybody else's, I guess you'd say, objective to kill the person with the crown. So it's like kill the man with the ball, except kill the man with the crown in a game. So it's so funny. It's so hard to survive with the crown unless your teammates are just on the money helping you, because you're running around with this crown on, and you'll see like 15 people just look at you, just turn to you like robots or velociraptors, or just they're looking right at you, and just a hail of bullets are coming at you. So one of the things too, there's a little cheat, kind of a dumb strat that you can pull in this game at the end if you have the ball hack and the armor hack. So you can have two hacks at the same time, and those are the two most defensive hacks that you can use. If you grab the stupid crown, and as you're running with it, you jump as the ball, and then as soon as someone shoots the ball enough times and then breaks it, you come out, you fall out of the ball, and you're fresh. You have all health. You can wait till you're like 1 health after someone's going to blast you a little bit, click their armor in, and by the time your armor runs out, you'll have your health back, and then your teammate can shoot like a healing down for you. So you can like almost survive for like 30 good seconds just by using hacks that are very defensive type hacks. So it's just a very interesting aspect to a BR game at the end, and sometimes you can even kill everybody at the end and not even obtain the crown. It's very rare, especially because people are so fast in the game and they're so hard to kill that you're probably not going to be able to kill everybody by the time that person has the crown and that 45 seconds runs out. But I think that's a very interesting aspect to the end of a BR game, and I think it's one of those weird things where people might not like it at first, but as you play the game and you kind of get used to it, you'll understand what to do when the crown comes up. You can kind of end up, I think you can actually remember where the crown's gonna spawn in a specific portion of the map. I think they always spawn in the same area, because a couple of times I kind of thought like, okay, it's gonna spawn right here. And as I go over to that area, people are already there kind of waiting for it, fighting. So I think people are already kind of catching on to the whole crown system. But man, it is a clusterfuck, but it is fun. And what's cool about this game too is like if you die, you don't feel like you just got cheated out of a death. You kind of feel like, okay, I used up all my resources. There was just too many people. You just feel so overwhelmed sometimes that you're just like, okay, there's just probably not much I could do here. It's not like ever like in Warzone where you just kind of walk around a corner and then somebody has a shotgun and they shoot you and you're just like, oh, well, you, asshole. There's not a lot of stuff that happens when it comes to stuff like that. So I just find this game really fun. It's free, by the way. It's only 8 gigabytes. So if you like BR games and you want to try something new, very fast-paced, very different, go ahead and download this video game. I'm just telling you because my friend Red told me about it. He goes, this is going to be the new BR video game that we're going to like. And I said, okay, I guess I'll download it. It's only 8 gigabytes. That's not that much. Downloaded it. Had a whole bunch of fun. Didn't know I was going to have playing this game. So definitely download it. It's not that much on your hard drive. It will probably surprise you more than you'd think. So if you guys like this type of game, go ahead and pick it up and comment down below if you've already played it. I want to know and want to hear what you have to say about it. But thank you guys so much for you guys. If you like this type of content, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and do all of that YouTube business. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see ya!